welcome back to Duro3 YouTube channel. In this video we're having a look at the strip down of a Emotator 1100M rotator that I just received as a trade-in. I've already removed the socket and we've got a bit of tape from the bottom. And the last time I saw this was all solid, and this one has a hole in it. So okay, so this is a slightly different version than I had before. So basically, I just want to strip this down. It's not in, the brake is not disengaging. So what I've already done is I've already removed the ring from here, which is called walkabout. Remove the ring from there, and all I need to do is just get this off. I dare say the grease has gone off as per usual with these rotators, so we shall excuse the noise. We shall get these bolts all out of here, and we shall see what condition the insides of this rotator are like. Sorry for the vibrations. Whoops, just lost my... Alright, noisemaker, sit that down there. Alright, let's just turn him over again. Let's see if we can crack the top. Maybe, maybe not. There we go. Okay, what surprises do we have in here? Other than ball bearings going everywhere. That was to be expected. I should have realised the bearings would just drop out, but whatever. Don't know why they can't just stick to the bottom, but whatever. Oh well, we're going to have to deal with it. Gently, gently. Okay. There we go. Well, actually, this is a very early one. Okay, what have we got here? Well, the grease is yick. But yeah, I think someone's may have mixed the greases maybe here. Not 100% sure. Okay. Well, this is one of the old 600 ohm potentiometers, 360 degree ones. Little hook that locks into there. This is how the Aegas used to have theirs as well. Just a lot of the early ones, 600 ohm was going to be the thing of the future, but it never happened. Okie dokie. Well, we might get these bearings out of here. I forgot to bring my hooked screwdriver over, so I better go grab that, get those bearings out of there. When I powered this up, and the customer said the same thing, when he powered it up, it made a lot of noise, but it wasn't rotating, and when I tested it here, the brake wouldn't disengage, so I'd have a guess the actual brake is frozen in position. Oh, the two wedges are probably frozen into the housing, I would have a guess. I'll know more, unless it's got some other issue. I'll know more when I get this out of here. Get these bearings out of here, and then we'll try and retract the wedges to see if they will actually disengage this. As always, the last one's a pain. Yep, the last one's always a pain. Get out of there. There you go. Bearings out of the road. I'll move those out of the road as well. So let's put him back. What I'll do, I'll move the bearings out of this thing. I should have done this in the first place. So try and get this. Oh, I didn't bring my little screwdriver over. Ah, bugger. know where they've gone. Little baby screwdrivers I normally use to get these wedges out. One wedge back. Okay. Okay, the wedges are both back now. Let's see if I can get this. I'll stay in. There we go. Well, actually the wedges are wedged in with that. Pushed them in and they stayed in. So that's the problem. Because they would invariably put grease, their manky grease into these things, and it goes off. Unless the actual solenoid is totally naked on this as well, who knows. So we shall, I haven't pulled one of these apart for a long time. The later models were completely different. Oh, that bolt's loose. Oh, that didn't even go into hammer mode. Wow. Okay. And you heard that. That was like, whoa. That one there had a bit of a hammer. The last one I pulled of these, it had a strip down. It was a much later version. It had the potentiometer sitting in here. And was driven slightly differently. So this is one of the very, very early versions. And the last one I did, it had a slight difference on the top plate here. And 1, 2, 3, there's 4. Later models only had 3. And these gears look like they're pretty well locked in. Oh yeah, I can't even turn the gears. The gears are jammed. Okay. Let's see. Oh, no, gears are jammed. So, okay. So there's the problem. Gears won't even turn. Okay, so maybe the brake wedges were releasing. It's just that the rest of it doesn't want to. Okay. I'm going to have to do... This is obviously a 100 volt motor, so... Yeah. Motor start capacitor is just ginormous in these things. Just cut the motor start capacitor off at the present moment. 7 microfarad. I'll replace it with the current model one, and which obviously somehow mounts down from the side there somehow. Might even be glued on. Oh jeez. I think it's possibly been glued onto the wall. Aha! That's what this screw's for. There's a screw here which goes straight in the side of the motor start capacitor. I wonder what this screw was for. So there's a screw that holds the motor start capacitor on. Wow. This is so different than the one I did before. There's the motor start capacitor. And they just soldered a nut to the side of it. 7 microfarads. Wow, this is so different, but the wedges, oh, someone's been in here before too. Wow. Actually, this one, the actual motor start capacitor is bolted to the bottom of it. And I think I need another screwdriver which is longer. Wasn't prepared again, as usual. Bloody hell. Oh, that was loose too. Either someone's been in here before, or this hasn't been touched since it was first built. Who knows? Looks like the original grease. Uh-oh. my battery about to go flat, is it? I'm not too sure, maybe on my back. Oh, I'm trying to get all these things out first anyway, so okay, I'll have to do a disassemble of the, and it's going to be more involved. I've got to get the pins out, so let's not do that at the present moment. Okay, I may have a battery going to stuff up soon. So yeah, she's definitely no turning nowhere. Okay. Righty-o-ty. Yeah, this takes a bit more to do to disassemble this one. Actually, the motor is very small compared to the later versions. Later versions had a much bigger motor. These are very small. This is what you'd find in like an equivalent of a KR400. Wow. Well, I might leave it there for now. To strip this down, I'm going to need a few more tools. I forgot they had C-clips on these and whatnot. So yeah, as you can see, the grease in here is very, very manky and sticky, and it's actually, you can't even turn the first gear. The first gear is that one there. It's like far out. It's like if I lever against it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I gotta turn it. Yeah, I gotta turn it. Yeah, no, forget it. Okay, so okay, we'll leave it there, and I'll have to do a strip down of this, and I shall make another little video once I get this stripped down or part thereof. Okie dokie, have a good one. Catch you in maybe part 2. Bye. Okay, we're back. Righty-o-ty. I ended up extracting the solenoid and brake wedge system out of the actual rotator, and as you see, instead of having proper circlips through here, or not circlips, or even yeah, they've just used copper straight through and then wrapped it over. Now, whether it was done at the factory, I don't know. So I had to physically cut it and stuff around with it. I'll check later on, make sure this solenoid is actually working. But the top of the gear plate, this top gear plate, was held in by these little C-clip. As soon as I put the circlip pliers onto it, it bent them. So okay, oh, there's one of the bits of wire. See, there's one of the bits of copper wire that was holding the brake wedge on. So, okay, interesting. Oh, and then I might as well show you this too as well. There's the brake wedges. One shaft, this one here, is actually tight as anything, and I had to physically lever it out and rotate it to get it out. So yeah, so that's the other one. You can see it's got a bit of wire on one end when it focuses, but this shaft actually is spinning, so I actually can get this one out later on, so when I finish the strip down. So okay, back to the top plate. This shows you how manky this grease goes. That is just dry. Look at that, I can hardly move that. Yep. God, jeez, come on. You've got to pry it off. That shows you how much this grease goes off. This here is just dry. It's like you've got to scratch it off. Look at that. So we're going to try and pull the gears off the shafts. Yeah, right. Here we go. Yeah. Okay, that didn't work. Yuck. So I've got my leverage screwdriver here, and let's see if I can actually do it now. There we go. It shouldn't be doing that, by the way. It should be spinning on the shaft. So even if the rest of the gears were okay, that one was stuck fast. As you can see again, this is just sticky as. Oh, I need another tray. Okay, I'll put all these gears on. Now I'm trying to extract all these gears. Let's see if the shaft will come out. Oh, there goes the shaft, maybe. Just. Oh, yeah, right, okay. Hammer. There we go. Pretty bad when you've got the hammer and the shaft out when they're meant to be spinning free. Oh, my gadskis. That still doesn't want to come out. Oh, let's just extract these gears to start with. We may... I won't be able to get that shaft out. So let's see if we can... Oh look, this shaft's are rock solid. Okay, one collar. Come on, you! Look at that grease is this big blob here. Big blob of hard, so I can't even spread it down. It's hard as. This poor thing was never going to run. There we go, that one came off a bit easier, maybe because I smashed the shaft through. So again, that grease on there is rock hard. Look at that colour of this grease here. It is red, yucky, orangey, and sticky as all hell. This one's got it caked all over it. I'm going to undo that little screw. Let's see if I can undo this screw here. Long screwdriver. I'll pick the right screwdriver up. This takes. This is like a little load resistor, like a load arm. It takes the load of all the heavy gears above the first drive gear. And this little angle thing which has got gunk all over it. And it's just screwed there. And that. Look at this here. Look at that. Keep telling people grease doesn't last forever. Service your rotators. Jeez. Oh, this one here. Coming out. Okay. Then again, the greases today are probably a lot better than the greases they were using these days, but this motor mount has been countersunk into the steel. Wow, it must be nearly 3/4 of the way through. That one just said it's countersunk. Wow. Okie dokie. So let's see if we can finish getting that out of there. I should have brought my pliers over, and I didn't bring the pliers. Pretty bad when you've got to use pliers to get the bloody shafts out. That's just ridiculous. I won't get that one out. Let's knock this one through. That one does not want to move. Okay, she's got a collar in there still. In amongst a manky mess. This is even worse than toffee. Oh, then again, it's probably the same as toffee, I suppose. Now we need a Phillips head driver. And number 2, I think, is going to be too big. Oh, maybe not. Okay, let's... Oh, the motor screws are like, not even tight. Oh, we've got to come a fair way up. What's the fence? There we go. There's one. One washer that's stuck in there. This is very interesting. As I said before, I haven't had one of these apart for a long time, and what I remember, this is different than the previous one I pulled apart. I found that actually just mounted to the top of the post. We have one that wants to resist. Let's see if I can try that again. Yeah, just need a bit of persuasion. I'll lock that down a bit. That might be a bit better. It's working for me as well. Yeah, they've actually got a little bit of glue on each screw. All screws had some glue on them. Okay. That countersunk screw hole must be 3/4 of the way through. Just less than a millimetre of material left there. Probably where they changed the design and they probably had problems. There's another shaft out. Okay, let's see if we can get this last one out. These shafts would normally be spinning within the sub chassis. Righto. Look at this. Look at that. Toffee. That's probably insulting toffee, but whatever. Oh, we might just undo these bolts and undo the... Oh, I might... Yeah, I'll strip the whole thing down and I'll clean the whole thing. That doesn't want to come apart, so I think we might leave that together and we'll clean it up in one big fell swoop. What if the motor actually spins around still? Oh yeah, amazing, the motor spins. Woohoo! Bit of end float in there. Big blob of grease on here. Oh, I'll check and see if these motors are still running. Yeah, bit of end float, but I've got a spring on the bottom. You can see the shaft coming at the end, but we've got a little bit of fair bit of end float on it. So, being there's not much teeth there, if it starts to lift up, it's going to end up hitting the gear. Okay, righto. Yeah, I'll get these all apart and I'll strip things down further, and we shall move on. And there's the limit switches. So the limit switch is actually activated by the bottom of the potentiometer, and I'll show you that. So that was sitting there, and then when you look under the potentiometer, you've got that little arm that's been soldered on to the bottom of the arm of the potentiometer, and that comes around and hits the limit switches. Wow. Okie dokie. Okay, we shall move forward with this, and I'll clean things up, and I'll do another little video once I've got everything cleaned up, and well, hopefully cleaned up. Sometimes this grease takes a bit to get it off things, so no worries. I'll see you in part 3. We're back. Okay, everything is cleaned up. What an effort that was. Getting that grease off was horrendous. Found a few things out. Solenoid works, but it keeps getting jammed. There's a little pin in the bottom, this little pin here, and obviously there must be a bit of wear or something in here, and it's meant to... I'll get this thing out of the road. It's meant to go all the way through, but occasionally it does that. It's hitting it. It should be going all the way down there. So this is not good. So I've got to look into that. May have to take that off. It's been hitting it for a while. You can see it's actually been hammering away at it. I mean, if that wasn't been hit, it'd still be green. And it's actually, when you look at it, it's actually, look at that, it's got a bloody, it's an angle on it, and there's a flare. It's been hitting for ages, so obviously it's been on. I'm going to remove it, I reckon. So that's one thing, but it works, so that's all right. Motor works, but we had a lot of end float, as I mentioned before. I'll have to fix that, so that's all good. All good in one sense, I suppose. Put those things over there. I cleaned up the brake wedges. This one actually moves, but the other one, he don't want to move. But okay, I'm not going to worry about it. I can actually put it on an angle and turn it, so that's all right. Okay, main housing is cleaned up all right. As you can see, there's been a bit of wear on the top, but not horrendous. But as you see, just here from there. A light in the right direction. From there to there has been a very unbalanced antenna system. That is dinted, and that side is not. That you can see that a track is hardly any wear on this at all. It's just got a little bit of a groove. This is actually impacted with a major thing, and you can see on the bottom as well. You can see there. And then as you move around, it's nowhere near as bad. So there's been, especially right there, there's been no major wear there at all, but up here there has been. So it's been a very unbalanced antenna system. And actually you can see it's very shiny there, and then here bearings have been rubbing on the edge and the bottom, and they've been hitting hard against the bottom edge, which means it's been pushed in that way, in hard against here, all the way. Actually there's a dent all the way around here. There's a dent all the way around the edge here, where it's been sitting on a really bad angle. So balance your antenna systems, people, please. You're stuffing your rotators. So that one there is okay, I suppose. I may have to pack up the bearings, maybe. You never know. This has been worn quite bad there, but not there. Everything else seems to be okay. So that's all good. The little ring that goes in the bottom of there. Last one I saw of these was broken in half, so that was a pain, but that's okay. That one there. Top housing's cleaned up all right, as you can see. So that's okay. The sub chassis, as I said before, I thought this here was going through nearly all the way, and yes, it is. It's not much different. You can actually see my finger there. Where is it? So my finger through the hole, and that is only less than a millimetre. They counterbored that out with less than a millimetre. It's a motor. There's a gear that spins out, so I had to mount the motor somehow, I suppose. But yeah, that's pretty much okay. And you can see how acidic that grease is. That is not wear. That's zinc plating, or gold zinc plating, and that's raw metal. That's the grease. But if you think it was wearing, why would that be there at that piece there? As you can see, that's the grease that's etched off the actual the zinc plating. And the same thing there. That's not wear. That's just purely grease sitting and eating away at the zinc plating. And there's a piece in the bottom as well. There's a big blob. There was a blob of grease there, and it's physically eaten, and the actual metal is now matte finish. And there's another one there. So that grease needs to be pulled out. No more than 10 years after it's put in. I would pull it out even earlier than that, and totally service the thing, because that's not good. Okay, shafts. Well, these are the small shafts, and going by the looks of these gears, I think they use the same shafts, the same gears in all their early rotators. And I think the only difference being they pinned it for the bigger ones. So the 101s, the 102s, and a 501 all use the same, even the same sub chassis, I think. Even these sub chassis, I think that there was different slightly, but yeah, and even that motor, this motor, even looks like it's out of a 101. But whatever, maybe that's how they did them. I can't remember what the other motor was in the other one. So, but getting to the gears. These gears are a stacked up set, and they're very feathery and sharp, and the alignment has not been good. As you can see, I'll get it right in a minute. You can see there's marks. They need to be shimmed properly. They've not been sitting properly. But the gear that drives that one, which is that gear there, as you can see, maybe get the light in the right. Maybe I'll turn this little light on. More light, better. So, okay, coming close, you can see the gears are chewed. I can't get the focus very well. They're chewed from this gear, and I'm not surprised, because the final drive gear, it was wedged solid, and being the fact it was at the very end, I'd have a guess this gear, grease went off first, followed by this one, and then as this is trying to drive, this gear is trying to drive that gear, it's going, oh mate, I can't do this, and just chews the gears. The gears are actually all pointed, and teeth are rough and chewed. This is the first gear, that's the first gear I think it was, and they aren't in too bad a condition. The teeth are a little bit feathered, but not horrendous. So, I think this was number one here, because that was onto the plastic gear. So that was one. That's number two, so it's a bit feathery. And number three is very feathery, and that is really chewed. Missed one gear. that's the next gear back. So yeah, okay, and yeah, so it's actually right where the gear's been running. Remember this gear, the gear that's how I had all the issues, right exactly where that gear has been running, the teeth are pointed. So in all intents and purposes, this gear should have been a double stack gear, not a single stack gear. So they're the things you look at when you see all these rotators and stuff. But so yeah, I just thought I'd give you an update on that. Solenoid works, motor works, solenoid has an issue. So, but yeah, that's where we're up to. Everything cleaned up okay, but you know there's spacing issues and whatnot. And actually, what we see the teeth here, the teeth on the back of this here are very pointed on the very bottom. So I reckon the gear has been pushing on the side, because the top doesn't look too bad, but the bottom gear has actually a lot of wear on it. So I reckon it's been trying to force, and the gear's been kicking on its side. So, and I probably can't really see it, but the tooth is very sharp at the bottom, where these are a bit blunter. So she's had a bit of wear on that one. So there we go. Before this battery dies, I had better call that quits on this one. Or quits. I will basically put all this stuff back over here, but everything seems to have cleaned up okay. I mean, the grease is now totally dissolved in Prepsol, and a lot of elbow grease. But yeah, so we now can move forward with this in a sense. But the casings, these casings will be going off and getting glass bead blasted, I've guessed. I've got to clean this up off here. This glue. I've got to clean that off here, and I'll send this up and get glass bead blasted, and then I'll paint them. They'll look a lot better when I etch them and paint them. So that'll be down the track further. So all glitchkies, we shall see you next video. Bye.